from Pleasant Hill, California, as the rematch is just underway between the Pleasant Hill Panthers and the OGSL Vipers. Izzy Epstein on the mound for OGSL. Strike one on the inside corner. Epstein's been a hot pitcher lately. She's come out ahead on her last two appearances. Strong defense being played behind her. Strike two. Outside corner, right below the knees. She quickly jumps out ahead 0-2.
They're not ready for you.
Foul ball. The Vipers have been playing good defense throughout this tournament. The Bats have come alive. The last couple of games, they've scored at least 7 runs, and they seem to be on a bit of a roll here. With Epstein on the mound, they like their chances today. Ball one a little outside and a little bit low. It seems as though Coach Klein and Leah Bell are really fishing to find out exactly where the strike zone is today, as they're switching locations inside and outside. Again, you see them really going inside. That almost hit her. Actually, let's take a look at that. Did that hit her? I think she just got out of the way. Based on the reaction of the umpire and the batter and the catcher, looks like she just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs. On a beautiful Sunday morning here in Pleasant Hill, California.
Time for them to come in.
Bell sets up outside, and Izzy pounds that outside portion of the plate. That pitch is way in the batter's boxes. They're really testing this batter, seeing if she'll chase, and also trying to find out what this umpire strike zone is today. Again, she steps out outside, and this time number 30 offers at it. Down she goes on strike one. Epstein's been dealing a strikeout per inning, actually a little bit more. She's got 24 strikeouts thus far this season in the summer, and 23 2/3 innings. So you can count on her being around the zone and forcing batters to swing at bat. Bell sets up outside again. There it is. Strike one. She jumps out ahead. Now that ball was fairly outside. This umpire is really pushing the limits of what's possible to call a strike on an outside corner. Foul ball. Quickly ahead 0-2. Coaches have noted that Epstein's velocity is a little bit down this summer. Her motion has changed a bit. We can take a look at it between innings, but her control has been pinpointed, and that's really what's carrying her through. Ball inside. Vipers have got Healy at third base, Etaloti at shortstop, McElroy at second, Tanner at first, Freeman in left, Mescaro in center, and Weaver in right with Bell behind the plate. Outside. Ringer up, strike 3. Epstein is really painting the corners. Take a look at this inside pitch here. After working the outside portion of the plate for the first couple of pitches, she busted the batter inside and she was rendered helpless. She also hasn't unleashed her changeup yet. So really she's just pitching off of location, mixing high and low, inside, outside, and really pushing limits on that outside corner. And hasn't even dialed up the changeup yet. We'll see what Coach Klein has in store for batter number 3. 2 down. Strike 1. Outside corner. That pitch is, I say outside corner, but I'm telling you that's scraping the outside, the batter's box. That's really far outside. There it is again. Strike 2. It seems as though as long as you hit the glove, even if you set out outside, you may get the call. And you'll notice Bell slide over for each pitch. That's a little too far. They're really pushing the envelope on that outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. She ran that pitch inside. Bell set up outside, and Izzy ran back across the middle, right into the hitter's zone. That was a very dangerous pitch. McAvoy at second base and Weaver in right field and Tanner on first base. They've got to be ready with her hitting the outside corner. Oh, she pulled the string. That was filthy. A changeup for strike 3. Let's take a look at Epstein's mechanics. You'll notice in the playoffs for the rec season, you'll see the backswing on her arm. That's the height of her backswing. Look how high that arm is. Look how high that hand is. Far above her head. And this is today in the first inning. That's the height of her backswing. There's a noticeable difference there, and it could be leading to a drop in velocity. I mean, we've noticed a 3 or 4 mile an hour dip. That could be it. But nevertheless, when you strike out the side in the first inning, I'm sure Coach Klein isn't complaining. As we start the bottom of the first inning with Etta, followed by Leah, and then Margaret. Etta's hitting a robust .396 in the season. She's been on fire from day one. Strike on the offer. Let's see if she actually went for that pitch. Oh, absolutely. She was bunting for a base hit. You see her quickly step out of that batter's box. With her speed, she knows if she can get that ball down, especially headed towards the left side of the infield, she's got a good chance of beating out a base hit. Ball low, 1-1. She checks with Coach Klein for the sign, and that's part of the maturation of this team. Beginning of the season, most of these players weren't used to looking for signs. It seems that Coach Klein has finally got them communicating in the field and also in the batter's box with him. He quickly gives them the signs, and they acknowledge by tapping their helmet. You see that throughout the game, meaning that they understand, Coach. I got it. Ball, low and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now, getting Ed on first base really makes a big difference. With her speed, a walk is just about a triple. Oh, a little bit low. Called a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's very clear from this umpire today. You have to swing the bat. There's a drive down the left field line, and it is foul ball. Still 2-2. But he's forcing you to swing the bat, especially with that outside corner being called so widely as it is. If you're looking for a walk today, it's going to be tough. High. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball, 3-2 still. She looks down at the sign, and Coach Klein tells her, look, base hitter, ball 4. Get on base. That's the sign. The pitch. Foul ball. She's battling. Loti leads the team in walks, as she has gotten a free pass to first base so far 11 times this season, against only 7 strikeouts. So she's got a good eye at the plate with .396 average to go with it. Outside corner, ring her up. 1 down. Let's take a look at that again. There's nothing to look at there. It's well within the inside portion of the plate, right at the knees. That's a nice pitch by the Pleasant Hill pitcher. 1 down. Here comes Leah Bell, sporting a robust .451 batting average. Second on the team at this point in the season. And I mentioned how fast Etta was. And that's strike 1 with foul ball down the left field line. But Bell is just as fast. So those 2 at the top of the lineup, if they get on, they really can wreak havoc. Following them up with Weaver and then Tanner. A chance to drive them in. But they got to get on first. Strike 1. Quickly ahead 0-2. Bell digs in. She's adjusted this summer to a little heavier bat. It seems like she's finally figured out how to wield it. Ball one, high and outside. You have to respect Bell's power. In addition to speed, she's leading the team in home runs with 3. Foul ball. She's starting to size her up. Let's take a look at that. You can see Coach Klein looking at it, knowing that with her speed, if that drops, she's at least at second base. Foul ball. Bell comes back in. Gets a sign from Coach Klein. These two teams faced off in Tahoe, and the Oakland Vipers really did outplay the Panthers. And so they're thinking that they can jump ahead of this Panther squad early. Ball. If they can get ahead of them early in the first inning, they may put some doubt in the Panthers' mind about whether or not they can keep up with this Vipers team. If they let them hang around, you got a ball game on your hands. 1 down. There's a drive to right field. Safely falls in for a base hit. And now you'll see Klein. He likes to get those runners over in the scoring position, and he's known for having his batters take a pitch to let that happen. And we'll see what he dials up here. Both of them are taking a look. He's waiting for Bell. Now for Weaver. There he goes. Folks, I don't know what that is, but the players tap their helmets so they know, and that's all that matters. We'll see what happens here with the first pitch. She squares the bunt, pulls it back, it's low. Bell takes off, sides in safely at second base. Let's take a look at that speed. As she gets in, slides down ahead of the throw, easily beats it for a clean steal of second base. Weaver's taking many pitches for these speedsters ahead of her to get in scoring position. But now in scoring position, it stands the reason that the green light is on. And with her speed, you just got to get it through the infield, score a run. Strike one, outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now there's some teams in this league that'll take a risk to get that run to third base. But with Bell, you really don't need that. You just need to get a hit. And there it is to the left side of the infield. Klein's waving her around. His arm is about to fly off. Bell scores easily. Weaver goes into second base. We'll see how that scores from the official score. You can see him waving again. You know, when he makes his mind to center runner, there's nothing funnier than watching Coach Klein on third base waving. There's no doubt about what his call is. He wants his base runners to be aggressive and force the defense to make a play. Looks like that's been scored a hit and an error in left field. No RBI credited. I guess the scoring is that she would have stopped or maybe been out at home plate. Nevertheless, the Vipers are up 1-0 with 1 out and another runner in scoring position. Here comes Marianne Tanner, another thumper. Tanner has had a great season in this summer, and she's sporting a 4.56 average. Because Bell's coming in at third, and Tanner's got a robust 4.56. And second on the team in hitting. All these hitters have tremendous averages, and when you've got that kind of talent at your disposal, it really does provide some flexibility for the coach. Ball outside. Wind up. Pitch. Oh. Now listen, that was about as outside as you could get. That's in the batter's box. And he called that strike 3. That really was strike 2. There's confusion. People aren't sure. That call was so dramatic, was so over the top. The people thought that was strike 3. We've got it down in the books as strike 2. Let's take a look at the pitch itself. And you tell me where this pitch is. Oh my goodness. That is outside. But you know what? The Panthers players are saying, hey, cry me a river. He's calling it on us too. You got to swing that bat. Listen, they're correcting it. His call was so dramatic that it made it seem like it was strike 3. It really was strike 2. But that just lets you know this umpire is ready to ring him up. If you give him a chance to call a strike, he will. Tanner's got 2 strikes, 2 balls, and 1 out. There's strike 3. Tanner goes down swinging. 2 down. Leah Bauer is up to bat. That shiny green helmet of hers. They need a hit to score a run. They got a runner in scoring position. Bowers is another power hitter. She comes in hitting .406 for the summer. There's a pop fly, foul, a drifting foul. Actually, it's hit high down the left field line. You see Weaver stop and look at the ball. Listen, with 2 outs, you've got to run. You can't take a look at the ball like that. You've got to run because if it drops, you got to score. I'm sure Klein will have words with her about that. You see him talking to her over there before sending her back to second base. Bowers comes back in, grabs her bat, gets a sign from Coach Klein. Seems like we've got an equipment timeout here as the umpire is asking all the players to check their shoelaces. This is 12U. There are some things that happen that you just don't see in the older divisions. Shoelaces being untied is one of them. 1 strike to Bowers. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes. Weaver takes off for third base, however. Already in scoring position, but she takes advantage of the pass ball. Leah steps out, gets a little counsel from Coach. No balls, 2 strikes. Wind up in the pitch. Strike 3, ring her up. That outside call it's going to be tough today on these batters, but at least he's consistent. Let's take a look at it again. As the pitch comes, you see Bowers leaning into it, but at some point she gives up on it, thinking there's no way that's a strike. But you see the umpire ring her up for strike 3. It's going to be a tough day for batters if they don't adjust. Top of the second, Vipers 1, Panthers 0. After a 1-2-3 first inning, we now go to the number 4, 5, and 6 batters for the Pleasant Hill Panthers, who are the host team of this tournament. There seems to be quite a bit of chatter in the stands today and in the dugouts about the location of the pitches that are being called for strikes. But I'm telling you, if you see these replays, he's calling it the same for both teams. Here's Epstein again, and she starts right back where she left off with strike 1 on the outside corner. And if you're a catcher, you're a pitcher, and you're a coach in this game, why would you go anywhere else? There's a nice drive to left field. Freeman comes up, retrieves it cleanly, throws it back into second base, and limits the runner to a single. Now, Sarah Freeman has had a very good summer. It's been up and down behind the plate, but she's expanded her game, and she's got some reps in at catcher and as well as the outfield. And she's secured more playing time that way and really helped the team solidify that outfield. In travel ball in the summer, the outfield makes a big difference. So it's good to see Freeman diversify her game and really contribute to the team. Here's an appeal. She did not go. Counts as a ball. Runner advances to second. Strike 1. McAvoy comes over to second base. Make sure that runner returns to second between each pitch. Bell sets up outside, but it's low. You see McAvoy going back to second base after each pitch. That's a lot of work. But quality second basewomen, they do that because you don't want that runner to get too comfortable out there. 1-1. Outside. Sorry, that was a 2-1 pitch. It's 3 balls, 1 strike now. The team's falling a little bit behind. Throws a changeup. Missed inside. For a walk. We've got runners on first and second base with nobody out. Here comes big 0-0. And they've got a rally going here. If they can get a base hit with the runner in scoring position, they've got a shot. She takes off for third base. Bell fires. Etta covers. She's out at third base. Look at this play. First thing you notice, you see Healy crashing on the squared around bunt. Etta slides over to third base. Freeman's backing her up. And I mean, she has the ball with plenty of time to spare. She drops the tag down on the runner. I mean, that's about as out as you can get. The ball's there ahead of her. That's a great backup in left field by Freeman. The call is out. You never want to make the first out stealing bases. You just don't want to do that. The first or the last out of an inning. So that's a surprise. They would run themselves into the first out, knowing that Bell has been throwing people out all summer long. That was a well-disciplined play by the defense. As I mentioned, the left fielder was covering. So even if Bell had overthrown that ball or gotten through, Freeman would have been there to prevent that runner from coming home. Healy crashing. It just was a well-coached play, well-executed play.
Got a piece, Seuss. You got it, Seuss.
Now with one out, they've jumped ahead of the next batter. We've got some technical difficulties here, and this batter flies out to right field. Margaret makes a play, and then the next batter grounds out to Izzy, the pitcher, for the third out of the inning. We're going to skip to the bottom of the second. The Vipers hold on to their 1-0 lead. Due up, Aaliyah, Dell, and Amara. Messica Irwin comes into the game hitting .381. Coach Abby Irwin's daughter was the MVP of the Spring Rec League as she closed out the Matters in the playoffs with a stirring performance on the mound, and as well as with the bat as she drove with a tying run in extra innings, as well as stayed on the mound to complete the game as a pitcher. And so she enters into the summer hot and on a roll, and she carries that into the summer with a .381 batting average. 1-1 as she has 1 strike and 1 ball. She's adjusted pretty well to this umpire. Seems as though the other players are still adjusting, but Irwin seems to have figured her out. Messica Irwin has stepped back in for a 1-1 count. Fouled off to the right. She steps out, gets the sign from Coach Klein. And with a 1 ball and 2 strike count, she digs back in, taps the plate as her style is to do. The windup and the pitch. And she slaps a single to center field. She stays hot and starts the inning off with a nice solid hit up the middle. Now you'll notice as this pitch comes, we'll see it in slow motion here, she dips her shoulders down and she goes to get that pitch. So good hitters make adjustments, and that's just what Aaliyah does. Instead of having a limited strike zone, she expands. Knowing the umpire has a wide strike zone, she goes down, drops that front shoulder, stays back with her hands, and drives the ball into center field to start matters off in the second inning with a base hit. Up comes Healy. She steps out, looks at Coach Klein, who gives her a sign. She taps ahead with knowledge and digs in. Squares a bunt, pulls it back, but the runner doesn't go. And given the reaction of Coach Klein, I think she was supposed to go. Why did I just have Dell take a pitch for no reason? I think Dell's had enough of that. She digs back in, and you can bet she won't let another one go past. And there it is, the left center field. A line drive, base hit by Healy. Now, on the flip side, if that runner's at second base, if she gets that sign, and on that hit with her speed, she may be able to score. Here it is in slow motion. Healy drives it to left center field, and she tosses that bat as is her style to do. I'm not quite sure why she does it, but she's been doing that for years, and the fans love it. With a little flick of the wrist, she just kind of tosses that bat out the way, like a lot of the college players do. We've got runners on first and second with nobody out. McAvoy's in, and you know what Coach Klein's going to have her do. He's likely going to have her bunt. Ball one. She did score the bunt, but it was a ball. But he's going to have her bunt because he wants her to get those runners over. Let's take a look at the sign again. He gives her the signal. She acknowledges the top of the helmet. Let's see if she doesn't square up again. She does. She squares up. She pushes it foul down the right field line. Only one strike. One ball, one strike. She looks over Coach Klein again. He gives a signal. McAvoy's not looking at the signal. I think Coach Klein wanted her attention, but she was so intent on hitting that she dug right back in and missed the sign. And now with 2 strikes, she's got to get those runners over. Can't bunt now with 2 strikes, a foul ball, you'll be called out. She's got to swing away and try to move those runners over. Let's see what she can do. And there's a ground ball to the right side. The runners move up, and like clockwork, McAvoy avoids a disaster. Listen, it's a good thing she did. Now, you can imagine Coach Klein would have had plenty to say if she wasn't able to move those runners over. And now here comes Epstein. 1 runner out, 2 in scoring position. Coach Klein gives her the signal. And in this situation, you'd assume it's hit away, kid. Wind up in the pitch. Outside corner and low, strike 1. That's just where this umpire likes to call him. He's been consistent all game. Down quickly 0-1. It's the sign from Coach Klein and digs back in. She's hitting .382 on the season. She's come a long way with the bat. She's really made strides this year with her swing, staying inside the ball. And there's a ground ball to the left side of the infield. Runner scores, and Dale Healy makes a great play. Now, you'll notice that this ball was there in plenty of time for her to make the play on Epstein. However, Healy deked her. She came forward, but refused to run into the out. The fielder being unsure of what Dale was going to do, she paused and hesitated, and that's death for any infielder. You got to charge, and you can't hesitate. You see she comes forward, she scoops the ball, takes a look at Healy, she stumbles, and then she's not sure what Dell's going to do, so she eats it. Runner scores, and everyone's safe. Here comes the pinch runner, Ella Che, coming in for Izzy Epstein. As Coach Klein wants to get Epstein out of that sun, she's been battling the elements for the last few games. Che comes in with good speed at first base. Now you've got runners at first and second with only 1 out. Top of the lineup, Ned is back up. Her first at bat, she went down looking. And starts off this pitch with this sequence with ball 1 inside. Gets the sign from Coach Klein, taps to acknowledge, and digs back in. Ball high and outside. Coach Klein tells her she's way ahead. Gives her the signal and tells her to dig back in. Let's see if he's got some motion here for this next pitch. Foul back. Coach tells her, listen, kid, we need a base hit here. Runners on first and second and only 1 out. You got to make something happen. Inside. Three balls, 1 strike to Etta. She digs back in. Called strike for strike 2. Full count. And here's a payoff pitch. This is a big pitch in this game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on. Base hit, scores 1. Foul ball. Eddie continues the battle during this at-bat, wanting to make sure that she is able to put it in play and preferably get it through the infield for a hit. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Eddie digs back in. Struck out last time, and we'll see what happens here. Strike 3, rings her up again. Let's take a look at that pitch. Etta loads, and it's right there. She's looking at it right on the outside corner of the plate, knee high, and the umpire rings her up. My goodness, what a big strikeout that was. Keep those runners at first and second with 2 down. Now it's going to take a base hit to bring in a run. Up comes Leah Bell. Leah Bell's 1 for 1 on the day. A base hit here scores a run. The Panthers are hanging in this game. Last time they played the Vipers, they went down and lost by about 9 or 10 runs. But today, they're hanging around, and there's a brown ball to the left side of the infield. It gets through. Cooley comes around third. Coach Klein is waving her in, and the runner scores. Bell moves up to second base. Ella Chase speeds over to third base. Let's take a look to see what happened on that play. It seems as though they've made the switch. They're being much more aggressive now with the first pitch swinging. Bell takes a pitch on the outside and pushes it through the left side of the infield. You know Coach Klein is waving in that runner all the way. There's no hesitation to Coach Klein. He's waving her in. The left fielder overruns the ball. She's a little over-aggressive, overruns it, and because of that, that allows the runners to move up another base. Bell glides in safely at second base, and we'll see how that's scored, but that was a clean hit to left field and an RBI for Che. And up steps Weaver. 2 outs, 2 on, runners in scoring position. We've got a large contingent of fans here today and supporters. Ball 1. There's only one place you can put her, first base, but no one wants to load the bases for Tanner. They're going to pitch to Weaver here with 2 down, up 3-0. A big hit here could break this game open. Let's see what happens. Strike 1. There's that outside pitch again. He's been calling it all game. Coach Klein's clapping her on, cheering, hoping a little bit of support for Weaver will do the job. A base hit here with Bell on second base. A good base hit here can break this game wide open with a 5-0 lead. And there's a drive to right field. It's over the right fielder's head. She's going back to get it. Weaver speeds into second base. Bell rounds third and scores. 2 runs in. The Vipers have broken it open, folks. It's 5-0. With Epson on the mound dealing, they look to be in good shape. Let's take a look at that again. That pitch was high and outside, and she has a nice, good inside-out swing. The first step for that right fielder seemed to have been in. Critical mistake. Your first step's got to be back. Coaches tell the kids all the time, first step back. She comes in. That ball carries much more than she anticipates. It was well struck over her head. By the time she was able to chase it down, Weaver was motoring into second for a double, and 2 runs scored. 5-0 Vipers. That's Weaver's 3rd RBI on the day as OGSL begins to pull away. And up comes Marianne Tanner with a chance to do even more damage. They've got a runner in scoring position, and Weaver's got enough speed to score on a base hit from second base. Tanner's been a big thumper all season long. She leads the team in triples. Strike 1, inside corner. Now she's had quite enough of this umpire today. He called strike 3 instead of strike 2. He's called pitches outside as strikes and inside as strikes, high and low. She has no idea what a strike zone is. She's going to have to be very, very aggressive. And there you see her chasing, expanding her zone a little bit, fouling it off. Coach Klein is saying, hey, listen, don't expand too much. But Tanner's not taking any chances. It seems like she's gotten the message loud and clear from this umpire. You got to swing that bat. Foul ball, strike two. Quickly down 0-2. Klein urges her to let the ball travel, meaning to let it get deeper into the plate before she swings. Foul ball. Her teammates are encouraging her, admonishing her, exhorting her to battle. You hear Ed in the dugout saying, come on, Marianne, battle. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strike. Coach Klein encourages her to keep battling, kid. A base hit here will break this game wide open with another run scored. Already up 5-0, the bottom of the second. There's another foul ball. Barely down the right field line for a foul. It could have a few more inches still left. And we have ourselves a 6-run game instead. It's still 1 ball, 2 strike to Tanner. And she is battling. She's not going down without a challenge. And you can see her begin to zone in on these pitches. The outside pitches and inside pitches she seems to have adjusted to. Oh, and so she rings her up with the changeup. Oh my goodness, that was filthy. Let's take a look at that again. Seeing that Tanner had adjusted to the outside pitches and the inside pitches as she was beginning to foul them off, the pitcher goes to the changeup. And you see right there, Tanner's kind of frozen. Her hands are still up. But the change in speed, coupled with the fact that the trajectory has changed, it just kind of froze her. And it drops right in. And of course, the umpire, with a flourish, rings her up. That's the end of 2. The Vipers do score. Score now OGSL 5. Pleasant Hill 0. You see Epstein's line for the day. 2 innings, no runs. She has really given the Panthers fits today.
One little hit.
She gets out ahead quickly with strike 1. Epstein's looking for a shutdown inning. Anytime your offense can back you with a few runs, you want to come right back out there and shut down the opponent in the next inning and really capture that lead. Again, she goes right after that outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes.
Anything close now.
Foul down the right field line. Again, this is another one of those situations where a batter seems to have taken a few pitches and then fouls 1 or 2 off, gets a sense of what the pitcher is throwing, and then becomes awfully dangerous. High, ball 1.
Good eye, good eye.
This is also the place where Epstein threw a changeup recently to a batter and rung her up. We'll see if she goes back to the change or if she sticks with the fastball. A little bit outside. Folks, today that's been a strike sometimes, so it may seem obviously to be outside in the right batter's box, but there's no telling today. Ball low. Great at bat. Down 0-2. The batter has come back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. No outs. Full count to the batter. There's a ground ball to the left side of the infield. Better scoops it up, throws it to first base, and she beats it out. Infield single, base hit. Pleasant Hill starts off the inning with a hit. Here's the play again. You see Dell slides over, unable to get it, but there's Etta who catches it in one motion, throws it to first base. Marianne stretches out at first. A beautiful stretch. And the runner just beats it out. That's the correct call. She was there. What a fantastic stretch by first base. Tanner's really grown in that position. In the beginning of the season, Healy was there, and Coach Klein decided to move Healy to first base, made room for Tanner at first. Healy's been phenomenal at third, and Tanner has really shined at first base as well, really solidifying the infield with those two bookends in place. And now with the leadoff runner on, Epstein's working to avoid a big inning. She gets ahead of the first inning, for the first pitch, with a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Ball a little bit high. Panthers crowd and dugout seems to be a little bit more enthused after that leadoff hit. Ball. We've got some technical difficulties. We're going to cut to the next inning. This batter lines out. She hits the ball to Dale Healy. Next batter grounds out to Amara at second base. The next batter walked. And the last batter of the inning struck out. And so we go to the bottom of the third inning. And Leah Bowers is up. Leah's 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out the first time at bat. She had a strong season. As you know, Aaliyah flashed a lot of power throughout the summer. She's leading the team in home runs with 3. Ball 1. She hit a ball, as Coach Klein said, it was the hardest and furthest traveled ball he's ever seen. And that includes his time as a high school coach. It was an incredible shot that cemented her status as one of the up-and-coming power hitters in the region. There's a foul ball down the left field side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up 5-1. Coach Klein claps and says, "Let's go, 9. Give us one here." Bowers digs in. The wind up and the pitch. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Strike 2. Well outside, but called for a strike. The umpire's nothing if not consistent today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a ball that's popped up in the infield. The pitcher comes over near the first base line and catches it for the first out of the inning. You'll notice that Aaliyah is swinging level initially, but because the ball is high in the zone, she's got to come up to get it. So what she ends up doing is, if you roll tape just a little bit here, you see she's got to come up. She's actually undercutting the ball. She started out level, but because of the location of the pitch, she's got to hit under it. That causes her to pop it up down the first base line. The pitcher comes over. Now we barely avoided a difficult situation here. As Aaliyah was hustling down that line, that pitcher came awfully close. There's not interference. She wasn't in the way, and we were able to avert disaster there. But those two came awfully close, and fortunately for the pitcher and for Aaliyah, the two did not meet. 1 down. The second Aaliyah. Mesker Irwin comes at the bat. Strike 1. Mesker Irwin was one of the MVPs of the rec season, and she pitched in the winning game of the playoffs, the championship game, and she dominated well into extra innings, recorded the win, and drove in the tying run in extra inning. She carried her team, if you would, to victory, and she's carried that hot streak into the summer. She grounds to third base, throws it across the diamond for an out. 2 down. And up comes Dale Healy. Let's take a look at that again. Mesker Irwin goes down to get this pitch, but take a look at her bat head. Notice the bat head. Is it straight or is it going backwards? It seems as though it's actually going back before it comes forward. Let's play that one more time. Watch the bat head actually comes to the left before it comes up. See, so she's not going straight to the ball as she usually does. She's actually coming back first and then going after it. Now, I don't know if that's to generate power or to work on her timing, but that's something different that we didn't see from her in the regular season. Either way, with 2 down, up steps Dale Healy. First pitch swinging. Dale Healy, line drive in the left center field. Dale is officially on fire. Let's take a look at that again. Notice where Dale's left leg starts at, right at the catcher's head. Right? She's starting right at the catcher's head, but as she goes to swing, she actually backs out. Now you see how far away from the catcher she is. She's actually stepping out of the plate, and then swing is an inside-out swing. She laces that ball to left field, but you wonder what she could do if her power was going forward instead of backing out. And then, of course, there's the Healy bat flip. She takes it. She takes 2 steps, flick of the wrist, and off it goes. It's almost as if, Dale Healy, what has that bat done to you? The bat did its job. She's like, no, thank you. Don't need you anymore. Goodbye. That is definitely her style, and the crowd loves it. It looks like Coach Klein is calling in for a pinch runner. It calls for Burger Moody off the bench. She comes in at first base for Dale Healy. Let's go to the split screen, as I'm sure he's got some type of action going on here. He gives a signal to Amara. She acknowledges. Didn't quite see acknowledgement from Burger Moody, but I'm sure she got that sign. And coming in as a pinch runner, you got to be alert. More than likely, there's some action here. You don't bring a batter off the bench unless you're intending to do something. And so we can expect to see some sort of a steal here, but no, Burger Moody does not go. Amara takes the pitch for a strike, and you see the reaction from Coach Klein. That lets us know that the sign was missed somewhere along the way. So he goes at it again, as only Coach Klein can do. This time, I think he told Amara, hit away if you have to, but he's letting Burger Moody know that there's something she should be doing right now. And she takes off. You see the sprinter speed she has. Full stride. She has track and field form. It's like a 100-meter dash as she takes off. Amara fouled that pitch off, so we'll try it again. With 2 strikes, there's a ball, but Moody takes off, and Burger Moody slides in safely for the steal. Let's take a look at that. That actually looked like it was pretty close. She got a late start. Can we run that back and take a look at that steal again? And she takes off. She's looking at the pitch and takes off. And as you see there, the ball's actually there well ahead of her. Well ahead of her. However, a hard slide into second base. The fielder has a difficult time catching the ball, and it bounces into center field. Credit to stolen base with Burger Moody with an aggressive slide. And now McAvoy is in position for an RBI. There's strike 3. Drop third strike. Throws it to first base to end the inning.
Good job, Ab.
And we're still, after 3, Vipers 5, Panthers nothing. Top of the 4th inning. Izzy Epstein trying to move the Vipers along in this tournament. First pitch, strike 1 as she continues to pound the outside corner of the plate. Bell looks over at Coach Klein, who encourages his defense to continue charging the ball. Grounded to Dale Healy. She throws it across the diamond to first base. Unfortunately, the throw was low and scooted all the way to the backstop for an out. Instead of looking at the throw, let's take a look at the backup here. On the throw, you see the right fielder's not really running over while that runner's hustling down the base. I guess the assumption is that the play will be made. However, when the ball scoots past Marianne, then the right fielder kicks it into gear and hustles over to get it. By then, it's too late. You see the umpire throwing his hands up. That's a free base. And as a fielder, you've always got to anticipate that play is not going to be made, and so you're there to back up. Vipers are still a young team, and mistakes like that are costly. There are going to be errors throughout the course of the game, and your outfielders have got to be there backing it up. Healy's normally sure-handed. Her and Tanner have formed a really deadly combination all summer long, On that one, she just wasn't able to quite get the ball out of her glove in rhythm to make a clean throw. With the error, the runner moves to second base. Epstein steps back on the mound. Just inside, ball one. The Panthers just want to get on the board here. They're down 5-0, but they figure if they can crack the seal, they may be able to claw their way back into this game. Strike one. Outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
All right, Lindsay, you've seen it, girl.
Coach Irwin encourages the left side of her defense to be ready. A little bit outside, ball 2. Bell glances over at Coach Klein, gets the sign, relays it back to Epstein, who approaches the mound, begins her windup. Contact is made. Ball goes back, foul for strike 2.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3. We got a full count. Runner on second base.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Come on now, kid. Let's go.
Contact made, solid ground ball to the left side of the infield. Edela Lauti scoops it up, throws it over the first base. Marianne Tanner trudges out, makes the catch. 1 down. The runner does not move up. Eda effectively looked her back to second base before throwing over to Marianne at first.
1 down, ladies. 1 down.
1 down.
Okay, Sam, man.
Down 5-0, the Panthers need a base hit here in the worst way. There's the outside pitch that you've seen all game, but it wasn't called that time for a strike. You see McAvoy running over from second base to cover the base and make sure that runner doesn't get too big of a head start. She wants to put something in the back of her mind as she's taking that secondary lead. There's an inside pitch, strike 1. McAvoy is back again at second base. Epstein declines and throws over. Instead, she wants to focus on that runner. There's a ground ball to the right side. McAvoy scoops it up. She tries to, but then they'll get the handle until it's a little bit too late. And you'll notice when she gets this ball, because she bobbles it, the runner's just about there. When she throws the ball, the runner's actually there. And so sometimes as a fielder, you've got to decide, hey, if that runner's already there or close to it, I might as well hold on to that pitch, hold on to the ball, so the other base runners don't advance. Nevertheless, now they've got runners at first and third with nobody out. This looks to be the Panthers' big chance for a while that they've been waiting for. Fueled by a couple of errors, they're making contact, and when you put the ball in play, good things happen.
All right, Suze. Do it, girl.
Epstein digs in.
What to do.
Strike 1 on the outside corner. I tell you, Bell and Klein have been consistent calling that pitch all game. We haven't seen much of the changeup. They've been mostly focusing on location. That ball drifted back inside. Again, that's a dangerous pitch from Epstein. Bell clearly set up outside, hoping that she'd pound the outside corner of the strike zone. But that one kind of got away from her and ran back inside, right back into her hitting zone. Fortunately for Epstein and the Vipers, she wasn't able to catch up to that heater and fouled it off to right field. Foul. A little bit high. Coach Irwin realizes where this batter is swinging and how he's pitching, and she tells the right fielder to get ready. Just low. Outside. for a ball.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's a ground ball to the right side. McAvoy gets it, tosses it to first base for an out. And there's the first run of the game for the Panthers as they begin to claw and scratch their way back in this one. They're not done yet. The question is, will the Vipers defense be able to hold? And just how much pressure can the Panthers offense put on this Vipers defense? There seems to be a little bit of a huddle or an injury. The runner going into second base seems to have gone down. Let's take a look at what happened here. She comes across second base. Laoti is there. And I don't quite see what happened. As soon as she touched the base, she went down and then she just crumpled. The umpire calls timeout. She goes down and seems to be in a great deal of pain. She clutches her lower leg and goes down on all 4. They've had to carry her off the field here. We took a momentary pause, but we're back now. The player has been carried off, and all the players for both teams came off the field while they tended to the young lady, and now we're back in action. The pinch runner has taken her place at second base, and we keep on moving. Vipers coaches instruct the fielders to get one out. With a 5-1 lead, they don't need to chase runners, they need to chase outs.
All right, Lil.
Epstein's still going strong, working the inside and outside parts of the plate. There's that outside pitch again for another strike. Two down. There's a ground ball to the right side. Weaver gets the ball in right field. She comes up ready to throw, but she seems to be caught in between. She doesn't throw home and she doesn't throw to first base. And so the runner scores. Coach Klein is telling her to hit the cutoff. Let's take a look at that again. She comes up and she approaches. She gets the ball. There she is with the ball in throwing position. The runner's not quite at third base. It seems like she could go to first base for an out. She could also go home for an out. Instead, she seems to be caught in between. As the ball's hit, you see her throwing home, but she hesitates first. And that little bit of indecisiveness allows that runner to score. 5-2, Vipers. 2 outs. They're in need of an out to get out of the inning. Epstein's had a couple of errors behind her. But there's a ground ball to Loti at shortstop. She throws across a diamond. There's a stretch by Tanner, and they got her after 3.5 innings. Vipers 5, Panthers 2. Won't be showing the bottom half of the inning. Izzy and Etta popped out. Leah Bell grounded out, and that ends the 4th inning. And due to time limits, that concludes our game for today. Vipers 5 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Pleasant Hill Panthers 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors.